Yeah, 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 Urko. Hey, 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 look. Yeah, what's going on? I go by the name of Steph Urkel, and welcome back to another episode of the Millennial Dungeon. How's everybody doing this weekend? It's been raining in Philly, but we still active, you know what I'm saying? Get it popping like your grandma's bad knees. And we got our lovely co-host, Afro, aka Amari.
Hello, everyone.
What's up, yo? How you feeling?
I'm good. You know, the weekend went by too fast, as per usual.
Of course. How's your kids?
They're kids.
I was hoping you said something. You was like, they all right.
Well, they're kids. No, it's going good. It's going to be a great year.
That's what I like to hear, y'all. Anybody out there, don't give Miss Amari a bad time. You know what I'm saying? She trying out here.
Listen, as I told my friends, if they want to act up, it's all right, because I know how to act up too.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Translation, I got these hands, man. What do you mean? That's what that means.
Listen, I will get with the kid. They know. Mm-mm.
That's why I can't
Don't
do
get
it,
smart
man.
with me.
I'm going to fuck around and get signed with Akon label. Convict music. No,
Going straight to jail.
no, I ain't built. You know what I'm saying?
I'm lucky. Most of my kids like me and they respect me, but it's because I keep it real.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta have that line. You know what I'm saying? That gotta be drawn. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They know not to mess with me, but
Yeah, just to be sure.
yes, my sixth graders, they don't know quite yet, but they will by the end of the year.
Oh God. So today's topic we're gonna be talking about the controversy with Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish. Now, before we get into it, is something you want to say?
Yeah, I just want to give a trigger warning because we are going to be talking about some difficult topics like molestation and um, uncomfortable videos with minors. So I just want to put that out there. If that's not your jam, if you can't handle that, skip the episode. We know you love us.
Exactly.
We'll see you next time.
With that being said, so obviously the controversy with Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish. So back in 2014, they did a comedy skit where just to have a brief summary about it, it was basically a comedy skit that made fun of molestation and talking about like quote unquote creepy uncle. And in the video, you see Aries Spears play the creepy uncle and Tiffany Haddish play the mom dropping her son off. And it was kind of weird because in the video it showed like Aries Spears like watching and feeling on the little boy. You know what I'm saying? So and I just saw this video last week. I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched the whole thing through, but it was kind of uncomfortable for me. It was just like I had to pause it. Like, am I watching the right shit here? You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So it was very weird. So how did you feel when you saw it?
So here's my issue.
Yeah.
I don't understand how any adult in their right mind who isn't creepy could think making a comedic video about pedophilia or molestation or any of that like that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you, if you were all there in the head,
Yeah.
what made you think that would be something that you could joke about? Especially because anyone who has read Tiffany Haddish's memoir knows she has experienced those type of things. So why would you be involved in a production of a joke video? I don't care if it's a joke or not, of a video demonstrating those type of ideas, promoting that type of idea, like it's funny, like it's not a serious thing that people really experience.
Yeah. It was weird. And see, here's my thing. Like you know how much I love comedy and stuff like so it's like I get comedy is supposed to like reach levels that other people aren't supposed to reach, and I get that, but it was like watching this video, nigga, it was a bad joke. You know what I'm saying? It was bad. You know what I'm saying?
Poor taste.
You know, exactly. It was like if you look at the 80s and stuff like that, right? Like comedy in the 80s, obviously they weren't so no politically correct themselves, you know what I'm saying? But like
Right.
you rarely ever saw comedians talking about child molestation as a joke or a stand-up or try to make a skit or a joke about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like when I see things like this, it's just like I'm just thinking like, Aries Spears, what was you thinking, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get you,
Right.
you're a comedian, you try different ways to make people laugh and touching on different subjects, but it was like, it was a bad execution. Like, especially the way it was like angled, like showing the little boy barely had any clothes on, showing you being a creepy uncle. It's just like, it was weird. And it's just like, another question I had for it is just like, you know what's kind of sad about it?
Hmm.
This happened in 2014. Like, if the whole thing with him like talking about Lizzo didn't surface or didn't come out, we would have never heard about this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because he basically is irrelevant nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, he had his little come up on Mad TV, right? That's what the
Right.
show was. But more or less, no one was checking for him.
Mhm.
But you decided to start running off at the mouth about other stuff that didn't concern you and Black women's business. And now look at you. You know, you're having things of your past being brought up because now people are they're reminded of you. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
would have just kept your mouth shut and answered the actual question asked you in your interview, it would have been a different story. We might not even know about this, which like is sad,
Yeah.
but you did it to yourself kind of. Um, but like yeah, it's just in poor taste. I get that like comedy is supposed to, you know, comedians can say certain things that normal people can't, quote unquote. But there's still a line,
Yeah. Of course.
you know, and just because you're making a joke does not make it funny.
Yeah.
And like, because you're talking about being politically correct, and yeah, there's a lot of jokes that aren't politically correct from the 80s, 90s, from now. But even that, like this is a topic that's never been up for debate about being politically correct or not. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Pedophilia, molestation, like that's not a joke.
Yeah.
And it might have, yeah, it's just not a joke. It's just not generally funny.
Mhm.
And especially because you had a minor in the video. Like, I believe what I read, he was 7 years old.
Yeah. He looks 7.
He was 7 years old. And what's crazy is the older sister, they tried to do a similar type of video with the older sister like a year prior. Because like in the, I don't know if everyone knows, but like they're suing them. Um, and because they were minors when it occurred, like she's being called Jane Doe and he's John Doe.
Mhm.
Um, but then they, which is crazy to me, they in the articles they put the mother's name, and the videos you can still find them. So it's like we can find them, like we can
Yeah.
figure out who these people are, and that's sad, especially because the boy is still a minor.
Yeah.
He's 15. You know,
It was. Oh, go ahead. I was going to say something.
no, you can say it. Go for it.
I was going to say, like, if you look at the video too, because at the end of the video or the skit, you see like the boy doing it too with that, because like it reverse roles and stuff, because like you see like Eric Spears playing the creepy uncle looking through the newspaper with the hoes watching him, and then you see the little boy starting to do that. It's messed up to say, it's kind of fucked up, but it's like a weird sad truth when you think about like child molestation or like stuff that happens in that, because when you think about like a lot of victims of that shit, a lot of them like of people that actually go through that, they end up carrying that shit and that pain when they're turned to adults, and they end up doing it themselves. Like, look at the R. Kelly thing. Like, R. Kelly was
Right.
getting molested when he was a young boy too.
Right.
So and look how he turned out, thinking that shit is cool, messing around under, you know what I'm saying? And it's like it's like nasty as hell to watch that clip, but it's also comes to show you like, damn, like this shit like is kind of
It's a
real. Like,
cycle.
yeah, it's a cycle that keeps going
It's a cycle.
around and around.
And I think if you wanted to make a video educating people about this cycle, educating people to be careful who you leave your kids with, the things that could happen, etc., you can do that. There's a specific way to do it, and it's never should be done in a joking manner.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't put it on a joke, website. And that's what they did. And it's like, oh, now that it's 2022 and you're being called out on it, oh, it was in poor taste. We shouldn't have done that. You're right. But 2014, y'all were adults then, and it wasn't okay then either. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't that much long ago.
Now you said something that like I think a lot of people need to hear again, because like be careful who you leave your kids around. So like I guess like it brings up to the topic of accountability, because like obviously we got to get mad at Aries Spears and even Tiffany Haddish for wanting to be a part of this. Like, even though I don't think she thought it was going to be in that bad taste when she was behind the scenes, because I think she was like in one scene of the whole skit. So I don't think she didn't think it was going to be in that bad taste.
At least from the articles I was reading,
Yeah.
like from when I was reading, she was a part of the development of the video though, and the whole skit. It wasn't just he created the idea, the concept.
Okay. So she was behind writing the skit too.
Yeah, she was involved with the whole process.
All right.
And when you I read an article, and obviously the article could have not been 100% correct or true, but the sister who is filing the suit, a year prior, they had got her to they wanted her to do a commercial as well, or a video as well, and they had her trying to do suggestive eating with a sub or something of that nature, and film a video a sexual nature with her, and she was only 13, 14 years old during that, and it made her uncomfortable, and she was old enough to know this isn't right, but this is someone who her mom had left her with, someone that she respected, someone that an adult she knew. So she was like, okay, I'll, and so she left uncomfortable, but it was still suggestive, and it was still sexual in nature, similarly to the video with the brother, with John Doe. And at least from her account, Tiffany Haddish was very involved with that one, was giving her direction on what to do, and was explicitly showing her how to,
so
my thing is, I don't think Tiffany Haddish probably can get off the hook for it either.
Oh, so she okay. So I didn't know that she was behind the scenes of actually developing a skit. So that's something new to me.
She was, at least from what I read, it sounded like she was involved with the whole process. It wasn't like they just said, hey, do this first little clip as the mom and then leave, and you don't know anything else going on.
Okay. All right. So I guess my question is, well, obviously now we got to hold them both for 100% accountable, but it's kind of deeper too, because it's like you said before, be careful who you leave your kids around. Do you think that parents behind should be held accountable for this too? Because how you not know about this? Leaving your 7-year-old child to be okay with doing a skit like this. Do you think they need to be held accountable to some degree at least?
At least from what I was reading, the mom and Tiffany Haddish were friends.
Oh shit!
They were in the comedy circuit together. They were friends, and so they hung out. They kicked back together. So she didn't have a reason not to trust her with her kids. The daughter had done a comedy camp that Tiffany Haddish was involved with, and so that kind of goes back to almost be careful who you leave your kids with, because most cases of child abuse, rape, molestation, all that type of stuff is by someone you know. It's not by some stranger. It's either someone or a close acquaintance. It isn't that creepy guy who you never met before lurking in the corner, generally.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes it, I think, kind of worse. And of course they're trying to say this is what's the word? Assertion. Basically when you're trying to get someone to give you money by blackmailing them.
Yeah. Extortion.
Thank you. The letters were not lettering in my mouth, and I said,
it's cool.
I know Tiffany Haddish has released statements saying that's what this is, because I guess they must have settled in court. It said, the article I read, they settled in court in 2019, but the girl was a minor still, and so was the brother, and they didn't have any of the legal guides placed that you're supposed to have involving minor cases like this. They didn't have someone there looking out for the child's best interest, and so the daughter is now able to sue because she's 22 years old.
Yeah.
And she's able to sue on her brother's behalf and actually have a child ad litem or whatever the courts need to have it be representative of him and his best interest. And that's why they think it's what's the word again? Say it for me.
Extortion.
I gotta see it spelled extortion. Yeah. That's why I think it's extortion, because they keep bringing it back up. But if the case, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'd be suing again if I could sue again, because no amount of money can fix that type of pain and trauma.
Hell no. Fuck that.
Exactly.
And then listen, it's like you said before, like, okay, her and the mom was friends and stuff like that. So she felt like she didn't have no reason not to trust Tiffany Haddish. But my thing is this is show business, Hollywood. And we all know, we hear about stories that happen in Hollywood all the time about kids like drug abuse, kids going through sexual assault, all that shit. So, and it's like, you should watch who you have your kids around, because at the end of the day, it's like you can't just be dropping your kids off just to any person and expecting, well, we knew each other since we was kids, so I'm pretty sure they're going to have their best interests in hand. How you know that? How you know they're going to always have your kids' best interests in hand? Those not their kids. Those are your kids. So like, if you want to get your kid in show biz, like let's say they want to get their son or the daughter in the show business, you should always be around. Like if they having a little business deals, you should be there. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
You should just let shit happen like that and then expect to be like, well, these managers and producers, I'm pretty sure they're good people are going to want my kids' best interest. No, they're not.
Right.
You know?
I mean, I 100% agree. I think it does make it different when you're friends with the person. And I agree, you can't just leave your kids with anybody. But if you're close to someone, people, like I get it, and it is showbiz. But if you have a friend who's been involved with your kids' life, they come to birthday parties, y'all having family nights, y'all hang out in a casual sense as well.
Yeah.
Not just like in a business sense. I can see it. I can see you be like, oh, my friend is involved with this stuff. She asked me if my kids can be involved. Like, I can see it, and someone not thinking twice about it.
Yeah.
And I can't blame her, because she didn't ask someone to mistreat her children in that way. And I'm sure, like, as a parent, you have lots of guilt about that. And that's a lot of parents, one of their worst fears. It's in the top 5 at the very least.
Of course.
And so I have sympathy for her. I'm confused why, when they did the initial lawsuit, why they didn't have the proper channels in place, people who could advocate for her son the way that they should have. But also, money talks.
Of course.
But from what I read, like, the daughter has custody of her younger brother at this point, because the mom's mental health, et cetera, is not good. So she's the one raising her little brother, and they're all still in communication. Not like she doesn't have a relationship with their mom. They do like family therapy and whatnot. But it's also different because now the daughter, who couldn't protect her little brother, she was literally there, but like in a different area, wants to protect him and, like, make sure he gets what he deserved in this trial.
Yeah, I get that. And it's like, when I heard about the story, first of all, somebody told me about the video. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what's going on? Like, because obviously you hear stories about like on celebrities getting caught up in bullshit every day now with social media. So it's like you just don't know which one to give your full attention to. But then somebody I know actually told me, and then I got the video on, somebody told me about the video on YouTube still. Watch that. And I was like, damn, this shit crazy. Like, I didn't even think this shit was going to really air on like YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this shit ain't censored yet. But my thing is like,
they haven't taken it off yet.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But my thing is this, like, in a sad and twisted way, it kind of like brings us attention where it's like now this topic of child abuse, like within the Black community, needs to be talked about more, because like child abuse can't play it's one of the biggest factors of when you think about mental health in the Black community. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to, you see like little kid, like from the ages like 15 and under, you know what I'm saying? Like if you like, it's like you said before, she trusted him. Like Tiffany Haddish and the mom knew each other. And like a lot of times, like child abuse is from somebody that you're familiar with. So when you, if you get molested or like you have been abused as a child by somebody that you're close with, you're going to grow up with this mentality of thinking like, I can't trust nobody, especially if you're a little Black boy.
Right. So, and I deserve the treatment that I received.
Yeah. So I'm saying like this, like a lot of people really don't look at it like that, but it's like this can really fuck up your mindset when you get older and stuff, because like even when you go into relationships too, it's like you're gonna be very like closed off, I'm gonna say.
Right. Well, the girl, because like I told you, she had an incident where they tried to make a video with her as well. Yeah. She's 22 years old. She's like, I don't date, I don't go partying, I don't hook up, I don't do all these things, and it's resulting because of the trauma she experienced as a kid, because she's like, I don't trust people to keep me safe, to feel comfortable around, and it's sad because she should be able to live a normal life and be carefree. Yeah, you need to be cautious. Like everyone needs to be cautious, but you should be able to live your life without the constant worry that everyone's going to screw you over or everyone who you trust is going to potentially, hurt you in that way. Because to her, like Tiffany Haddish was like another mom type figure.
Mm.
That's my mom's friend. So even if she doesn't have any kids, that's like my mom, an extension of my mom. If my mom trusts someone, I'm more likely to trust them.
Right. Like a play auntie or something.
Exactly. Like it's a no-brainer. If she passed her checklist, why wouldn't she pass my checklist? At least in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think a big issue is we don't talk about abuse in the Black community enough. And for a lot of people, it's a source of shame. And in families, shame is meant to be kept quiet.
Yeah.
And we often, in general, the general populace, we do not teach kids how to have tough conversations if an adult figure, if an authority figure says or does something to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they're going to tell you, oh, don't tell your mom. If you tell your mom, she's going to be mad at you. And no kid wants their mom to be mad at them. No kid wants their dad to be mad at them,
Yeah.
Or they're going to tell, oh, if you tell, I'm going to hurt your mom, or, something of that nature. And kids believe them because their brains aren't developed yet. They don't have the critical thinking space to be like, you know what? They hurt me and they're probably lying to me. My mom's not going to care.
Yeah.
Well, she's going to care about me more than she cares about that person's feelings. And the fact of the matter is a lot of kids don't have those skills. They aren't taught that. We tell them stranger danger. We tell them just say no, but we don't tell them the things people might say to manipulate them, to not tell their mom, to not tell their dad, etc.
You know what's crazy too? I was like probably last week, I was talking to somebody I know about this too. We was talking about camp, and like how kids get sent to camp, like summer camp or like basketball camp or something like that. And I was just asking their opinion, like, what do you think about camp? And they were saying like how they even want to trust their kids to go to like a camp or something like that. And I was just trying to like get their perspective on it. And it's like they enlighten me on some things because like even at camp, a lot of times you're not really supervised because you got your guidance counselors there, but like nobody's really there to watch anything bad happen. You get what I'm saying? Because it's not like it's more guidance counselors than it are students or kids there.
Right. So and you don't know what the guidance counselor might be on.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know, they might be a creep too. And it's just like I never thought of it like that. Mind you, I've never been to summer camp, or like a full basketball camp. Like I'm going for like 2 months, but I'm like always thinking like, well, maybe if I'm gonna if my son wanted to go to a camp or a basketball camp, I'm gonna send them if they were really serious about it. But like the person I asked, they kind of enlightened me into a different perspective. Like, damn, do I even want to send my kid to camp now? Because as kids, you want your kids to have a fun childhood. Like nobody wants their kids to be on edge their entire life, to be like, watch out for this, stranger danger. Nobody wants their kids to have to worry about every little thing. They just want them to grow up to be happy. But we don't live in a perfect world. So it's just like,
right.
Damn.
It's like trying to figure out that balance of like letting your kids do things they're interested in and have fun and, have experience, and also wanting to protect them from the realities of not every person is safe.
Yeah.
And the fact that like you can't be there with your kid watching them 24/7. And so it's like, do I let them, maybe do a day camp instead of a overnight camp, something where at least they can come home and report to you a little bit easier. And I mean, I get it, because like that's why so many kids like ages 5, maybe even younger, have cell phones nowadays. Not because they're going to be away from their parents that long, but just in case if something happens, you're able to get in contact.
Mm-hmm.
We have a heightened fear of these type of things, and like it's easy to say, oh, don't worry so much, but like there's real fears because a lot of people experience trauma like that.
Yeah.
Trauma at the hands of authority figures.
Yeah. Sad. You know what I'm saying?
It's very sad.
Especially if you you think about like in like the Catholic Church and stuff and things like that, and it's just like we hear about stories about that when you was a kid, and that's the only times you really hear about when you young and stuff like that. It was always like a thing, like a myth or something like that only happens like it from some priest, but it's like that can happen anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Any person that you really know, like you never can really tell. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Right.
what makes it scary about shit like that. But it's like you gotta do what you gotta do to protect your kids, obviously. So
Mhm.
it's kind of sad that you can't trust the people that you call friends in your circle sometimes, because I'm pretty sure Tiffany Haddish knew the mom pretty close, well, if they was friends for years.
Right. Not to mention, like, she asked for those kids specifically for this video. It's not like they were auditioning, but you know, it's
Yeah,
just poor taste all around. And you can't be mad that the public's finding out about it or that they want money or that they're suing you because, like, there's no amount of money that can fix it.
yeah,
No amount of money that can fix your poor taste. And to be honest, like, Tiffany Haddish, I feel like has always kind of, I want to say always, but like has always kind of had like poor taste in some of her jokes. Because like I remember, oh girl, it was back in the early days of YouTube. Okay. And it was after the Chris Brown Rihanna scandal came out.
oh, okay.
There's a video and it's still up, and it was called like Rihanna's Revenge, and it's Tiffany Haddish, and I didn't know that then. Didn't actually know that until like a couple years ago when my brother and I revisited it. But it's about like the Chris Brown and Rihanna abuse scandal, and it's really bad and not politically
Why you
correct
laughing, yo? Why
because
you
I think
laughing?
about it still and it's funny.
Uh,
But like she literally like beats his ass in retaliation. Um, well, because the start of the video, he's like beating her, and then it's like Rihanna's Revenge, and then like she beats him like to different Rihanna songs
uh-huh.
and whatnot. And it was funny at like 12 years old,
Yeah,
14 years old, someplace in there, and it was a different time. But like even now, like someone getting abused isn't funny.
yeah,
You know, him beating her is not funny.
yeah.
Now, I get the whole idea of like, oh, revenge. The revenge aspect still is kind of funny, but it's not okay. You're not supposed to joke about these things.
Yeah, and this is why I feel like people are conflicted too, because like when you're a comedian, like you're supposed to go touch borders that a lot of people didn't think you would touch. Like you see like on stand-ups like Eddie Murphy or like Richard Pryor or Eddie Griffin, like back in the 90s or 80s and stuff like that, they would talk about shit that you be like, oh motherfucker, why you say that? You know what I'm saying? They would say certain things, but they always like, I feel like they always had a line too where they knew not to cross, or they know how to like word it right, where it's just like I'm not attacking them, but it's funny to make fun of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but that's like nowadays, I feel like you can't even do that. And this whole thing with Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish. Now, obviously, that was that whole skit wasn't really funny. I think that was a bad delivery in my perspective too. But it's like, what you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I just like I can't grasp why they thought this would be a funny thing to joke about.
I don't know either.
And like I said, Tiffany Haddish was abused physically and I believe sexually as well. So I'm just like, just make it make sense, Jesus. Make it make sense, because it don't. It don't.
You think they're gonna get canceled for it?
Okay, people get canceled, but it's never real.
That's what I'm saying.
I think they'll get canceled, but it's always fake. There's like almost no one who gets canceled, and there's actually real repercussions for their actions.
Yeah.
No more than a bunch of people being outraged, and then after that, even half the people who are outraged to begin with are back to consuming the media, using that person's product, buying from that person's store. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it'll be like a tarnish on their reputation.
Mm.
But think about R. Kelly. He's
Yeah.
been getting out, like, he's had so many abuse allegations through basically his whole entire career.
Yeah.
And yet people don't cancel him. He's not really canceled for real now. This is the most he's been canceled.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, low key, he has been getting that shit his whole career though. Like those allegations have been around like since when he was like in his 20s. Damn.
Didn't he marry Aaliyah?
Yeah, he did.
He was 15, 16 years old.
So
like and he was a grown man. And not only a grown man, but like her producer or something of that nature, like was getting her into the industry.
mm-hmm.
And therefore, let's use our noggins here. You know what I mean? Like, he's always been a predator.
Yeah.
Always, more or less. But people ignore it.
Yeah. Nigga, that 12 play album, they was like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Which is sad, but it's like, it's true. Like, motherfuckers like really ignore that shit. Like,
right.
Which is, damn.
They really thought age ain't nothing but a number.
I guess so. Shit. Like, it was like, nigga, Bump and Grind was on repeat, but they was ignoring that shit. But I don't know. It's weird too when you think about it, because it's like you said, like it's not really a cancel culture when you really think about it, because I feel like it's so much that happens nowadays with social media that like we get so distracted so easily. Like, because we talking about Aries Spears now, but I guarantee in 3 weeks somebody like one of the Kardashians is going to catch another case or some shit like that, and we're going to be focused on that. Probably making an episode about that shit.
I mean, rephrase, Kanye gonna keep being Kanye, and then we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like drama's gonna keep being drama. People are gonna keep doing dumb shit, whether we like it or not. So it's like, I'm not saying we need to ignore this, but it's like I just want to ask people, like, are y'all really going to cancel these celebrities like y'all think y'all are? You know what I'm saying? It's like, or right. What are y'all really willing to do to stop it?
Right. Well, to be honest, I don't really think either of them are funny, so it makes it a little easier for me to cancel them, because I wasn't checking for them anyway. Like, I wanted to like Tiffany Haddish. Yeah. I didn't have an issue with her, but I've never found her like actually funny.
Yeah.
She don't make me laugh, and I love comedians. Like, listen, like I used to I love Cat Williams. He's one of my favorite comedians, and he says politically incorrect things all the time, but he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it in a way that isn't like super offensive.
Yeah.
Or like distasteful, you know. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I used to. I won't watch him now, but I like Louis C.K. And then his allegations came out. He got Me Too'd. But Aziz Ansari, I used to like him too. Listen,
damn.
Yeah. I'm starting to think that comedians maybe just ain't the best breed of people.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, every comedian is getting shitted on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like
y'all to hold yourselves to a higher standard. Do better.
I guess so. Just not even a comedian, just celebrity in general. It's just like knowing like the shit. Like, I think as comedians, motherfucking celebrities just need to stay at home. Like, treat it like a 9-to-5 job. Like, just go home.
Get some therapy.
Something like, I don't fucking know, because motherfuckers be catching cases left and right now.
What's your first deal? Get a therapist. Work that out.
Oh no!
Don't be a creep. Don't be that person.
Yeah.
Period.
But I guess that just to wrap it up, I guess like the message I guess I have for the audience, because it's still a little touchy topic. Make sure you watch who you have your kids around, because yes, we gotta blame the celebrities that's involved in this, but we also gotta blame the parents too. It has to be some level of accountability of who we trust around our kids. You know what I'm saying? Or if our kids are getting into the industry, how we handle that, or have certain talks of like, yo, if we go in this industry, I'm just going to let you know that I got to be in these meetings with you, because you're still a minor, and I want to know exactly everything that's going on, because you can't trust Hollywood when it comes to your kids.
Right. Well, and I think even more so than that message, I think what the takeaway is, like, be careful, yes, who you trust your kids with, but also create a relationship that's strong enough with your kids that if they're ever in a situation that they are being mistreated, that they feel comfortable coming to you, and that you know, do your research to know what to do to protect them if that happens to them. You know, who should you call? What type of lawyer should you have? What is, and don't settle. you know, get them therapy. Don't hide it. Don't make them feel ashamed of what happened to them,
Yeah.
so that they have that festering within them for years and that they can heal so they're not in turn doing those things to other people.
Thanks. But with that being said, I'll go by the name of Steph Urkel.
And I'm Amari, aka Afropuff.
This has been another episode of Millennial Dungeon. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Yeah. Urkel.